today's video tutorial, I'll be creating a scrapbook page featuring Graphic 45's Precious Memories paper collection. Here's a quick peek at the layout that we'll be creating today. So let's get started. First up is you'll want to select the papers that you'll be using on your scrapbook page. I'm fussy cutting some images from the paper collection that I'll be using on the scrapbook page. I'm using my paper distresser to distress and roughen the edges of the layers I'll be using on the scrapbook page. I'll be creating an opening on the scrapbook page. Here I'm taking my Tim Holtz ruler and a pencil, and I'm marking the center of a page, drawing out a T, and I'll be using my craft knife to cut that. And that'll fold open and create a nice opening on the page. To create some added texture to the scrapbook page, I'm using a stencil and some texture paste to add some designs on the outer layer of the scrapbook page. I'll also be spraying the page with Lindy Stamp Gang to give it some shimmer. Here I'm using a paintbrush to roll the edges open on the center of the page. Doilies are always a nice element to use for a dainty touch. I was going for a really distressed look here, so you can see me tearing the edges and kind of manipulating the edges. Here I'm using a hot glue gun to roll back the opening on the center of the page, and it holds the paper down really well. I'm adding some cheesecloth here, just another texture element. It adds a little bit of a shabby chic look to the page. I'm taking some of the ivory ATC tags and I'll be covering them with some of the design paper from the Precious Memories collection. I have a tutorial out on my YouTube channel on how to cover the Staples tags by Graphic 45. Here I'm fussy cutting some elements from the paper collection and preparing some of those elements to layer onto the page. I find that it's helpful to sort of play around with the elements and figure out exactly where it is you want to have them. I don't glue anything down until I know for sure I have everything exactly where I want them to be. At this point, I'm just prepping all of the different elements that I'll be adding to the page and getting them ready to be adhered down. I typically use hot glue to adhere the flowers down, and I'll use E6000 or glossy accents to adhere down metal to paper, depending on the weight of the metal. If it's heavy, I use E6000. If it's light metal like a key, I'll use glossy accents. The leaves were a little too green and bold, so I sprayed them down with a white metallic mist by Lindy Stamp Gang. just layering on all the flowers. Now I don't have any particular process that I follow for layering on the flowers. I just keep on going until it looks nice and full there. I'll be adding the petaloo flowers at the top along with the leaves that I just sprayed. I'm cutting up some vintage lace and I'll be tucking them in the tears on the edges of the scrapbook page so that they're sort of peeking through. I found these little wooden clothespins in my stash and I thought it would be cute to hang the dress on the top of the scrapbook page with these little clothespins. I'm really loving these metallic baubles from Michaels. They add this little sparkly touch to any project. And so here I'm just sort of scattering them randomly throughout the page. For some additional sparkle, I'm adding some 8mm sequins randomly throughout the page as well. I hope you enjoyed that video tutorial showing you how this scrapbook page came together. It was a lot of fun working with the Precious Memories paper collection by Graphic 45. I really love the images. I did some fussy cutting. I used some of the ivory tags from the Staples collection, the ATC sized, and I layered them with some of the design paper. I used some of the stickers from the sticker sheet. I used some of the chipboard. I love the Staples, and you'll see that I have a shabby chic keyhole, metal keyhole peeking back there. And then I also have a shabby chic key here. And I used the door pull as sort of like a leverage for my flowers here at the base of the scrapbook page. And I had fun just using a lot of flowers. I used petaloo and I also used I Am Rose's flowers. I also used some crochet flowers with little pearls in it. I was done with the layout and then I put it down. I said, you know what? Something is missing. There's no butterflies on this layout. So I took some of the design paper and my Martha Stewart punch and I put some butterflies on. So you'll see that I have butterflies here. I put a little one over here. I love to put the Graphic 45. So when you guys take off the spine on your 12 by 12 paper, I tend to save it and I like to kind of accent my pages with Graphic 45. On this top layer, I did some cutting and I showed you how I did that on the tutorial, and all I did was just roll the pages back. So it's sort of like this pocket where I have Jalen, I kind of inserted her in there, and then I have all of these different elements just kind of layered and popping out above her. Which is so fun to do. So it's kind of like everything is kind of shoved in this little pocket here, and then you have the focus on the baby. And then I did some fussy cutting here. So you'll see that we have the little baby kind of peeking over there. I cut some of the elements out of the design paper that had the sentiments on it, and I layered it here on the ATC trading card that I layered with some of the design paper. So this is what I used here. And then I just popped it up there. I did the same thing with this ATC tag over here. I added some design paper and then I added a sentiment from the paper collection. Okay, and so I used some of the chipboard pieces. You'll see there the stickers from the Alpha, the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. I used the numerics there to designate the year. And then you'll see that on this top layer too, and during the tutorial, you'll see that I did some mixed media with a circle stencil and some of this texture paste. This texture paste is actually pretty cool. It has white crackle. And so as you let it air dry, it actually does this really nice crackle. So if you use like crackle medium, it's very similar to that, but it's like modeling paste, so it's pretty cool. I edged everything, distressed everything on this layout, so it's very curly. I used some of my Lindy Stamp Gang spray to accent the paper with some gold mist, and you'll actually see that it caused the paper to curl a little bit, which is what I wanted it to do. And then I put some lace here to peek out of the little tears on the sides of the layout. See over here too. Okay, so that is, oh, and I use these fun Recollections rhinestones. I really love these. They like really add a little oomph to the layout. So you'll see I have big, medium, small kind of here, and I actually added some in various places of the layout as well. I also use these 8mm sequins that I got from My Favorite Things, which are really cool. And I just used my glossy accents and just randomly went over the page and then just put these down in different places. And these are Petaloo flowers, I Am Rose's flowers. So much fun using this as sort of the, you know, sort of the flower pot right in the center of the page. And then I have some of the rosettes and a rosebud, sorry, and some of the other like cherry blossoms and stuff like that, like peeking out. So really fun layout. I had so much fun creating this. Memories is such a sweet collection. So if you have children or you have a friend or a relative that have children and you like to create, this is gorgeous paper. And it doesn't even have to be for babies, you guys. I mean, the little heart page right here you could use for Valentine's. This paper here that I have right showing up front, you can use that for spring. So it's really versatile. So anyways, that's my page. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. Bye.